my vision is in time, all the coastal lands, all lands, Mackay, of all the roadways, oceanside of all the roadways are all open spaces, all belong to the public trust, all belong to the public.
People will be pushing the envelope. You know, certain people will be pushing the envelope. That will result in intrusions into private property, which I think will upset the property owner's expectations as to privacy.
Because on this side, no kind of like sand beaches or like beaches like this where people can come down. Only get rocks, you know. And people don't realize that until they come and look for one beach in the corner. Hey, where's the sand beach? Oh, but you gotta go 3 miles down. Yeah.
Discuss all this behavior.
Former President Cleveland remarked in a letter, "Hawaii is ours. As I look back upon the first steps in this miserable business, and as I contemplate the means used to complete the outrage, I am ashamed of the whole affair."
Is your interpretation the same as in the Great Maheli? The king replaced the feudal system with a modern fee simple system.
Mm-hmm. In light of incoming Western land tenureship practices, he had to make sure that the native resources and the native practices were all intact.
And they said very specifically that any rights of native tenants that were not specifically preserved in the predecessor of 7-1 were extinguished. Mm-hmm.
He embedded the rights of the traditional people. When we begin to put the picture together, we find there is a flow of native practices that has been unbroken.
In other words, the private property owner no longer has a right to exclude a significantly expanded group of people from the property.
Well, I don't have too many people who are in the investment and development community support me.
And developers are quite intelligent and reasonable people, I know. Some people will dispute this, but They are intelligent. They're good people.
And it's managed by
Ceded lands is land that is of which Hawaiians have a particular claim.
Yes,
to put it.
ceded lands is the land, it comprises about 1.5 million acres in the state, and was the lands that were actually not ceded but stolen by the American government from the Hawaiian government, the Kingdom of Hawaii, and transferred illegally to the United States. So Hawaiians have always claimed, because of the overthrow, that they have an interest in that land.
We have a say. We must participate in land use decisions today.
These days, things are different, and the mission is foremost to wave the white flag and surrender and learn the ways of the colonists. With the overthrow of a sacred home to the cultural abolishment, a lot of people mistreat the land and forget to practice love and respect. A culture soon lost in the air to become just another memory, overrun by the concrete jungle. A Confederate conspiracy. There is no place in the world that can match the beauty of this right here. Hawaii is alive, calling for help. Try opening up your ears, or clearing your eyes of all of the anger tangled up inside. Unify, we all one tribe, seeking sight through sovereign eyes. Born and raised, while many generations back in the day, my first ancestors came from the oceans, got about stores to the island chain. Hawaii name, my only home, my birth, my grave, where my past lays under the earth through kings and dirt or in the waves.
Anglo-American culture is very dualistic about land. There really is a separation. We are not part of the landscape. We can own the landscape and use it for our purposes, but we are not part of it. Native people are land-based peoples. They live now where their ancestors lived centuries, often thousands of years ago. And when you take that land away, you have torn away a basic part of who they are. Native people will talk of not just the animals, but the trees and the rocks as being their relatives. And they mean it, and they feel it. And that is totally foreign to our relationship with the land.
And it's managed.
Property in Hawaii has always been different than it is under Anglo-American or English common law. Usage used to govern totally. Is PASH really, other than departing from Kalihi in some key ways, but is it really a new concept that it's promulgating?
Yes.
Okay, what's new about it?
The case makes very clear that we don't have a fee simple like the rest of the country has fee simples.
The Western fee simple land rights do not overweigh traditional land practices. And the reason for that is that traditional land practices predated Western fee simple practices.
Because those rights, asserted rights of private property owners, never really existed here in Hawaii because tradition and custom predated that.
PASH gave the interveners the right to go in and seek to limit or prevent the owner from developing the land. Shows that there was a considerable expansion of the nature of the right.
Practices can only occur if you protect the natural resources and the environment that allow the practices to continue.
And to the extent there is this expansion, there's a corresponding loss of the private property rights.
If those environments were destroyed and the resources depleted, the practices cannot continue.
Under PASH, there is now a duty flowing directly from the Hawaii Constitution to do whatever possible or whatever feasible to preserve and protect native gathering rights when the land is developed.
Both traditional Hawaiian land use practices and Western fee simple practices are on equal footing. You cannot raise one above the other. Previous to the case, they always raise Western fee simple practices as stronger than traditional Hawaiian land use practices.
Under Kalihi, gathering rights and these traditional rights were rights of access and gathering only. And it only gave the possessor of the right to go on the property and take things. It did not, and he was clear in saying that doesn't give them any rights in the land, nor does that give them any right to prevent the owner of that land from destroying the things that the gatherer gathers.
That's what. And the case was proven, interestingly, by surfers. what we had to do, we had to switch the attitude of surfing as a recreation. Surfing is more than recreation. It is that too. Surfing is more than a societal practice. It is that too. Surfing is foremost and the very highest level. Surfing is a cultural practice and has always been a cultural practice. If we look at the coastal lands especially, and this applies to all lands, but if we look at coastal lands, then we see the Ala, the main roads, the main trails, that's all historic. Connected to the Ala, the main roads and highways and trails are the Alakahakai, the roads that go down and the trails that go down to the sea, so they branch out like capillaries. Those are all historical resources and historical treasures. Those are accessed for the public in perpetuity. So they cannot deny you access from the point you are to the ocean because these roads are recorded as historical roads. Native rights and native land use practices predate fee simple Western practices. Because they predate, there's an equal footing here. So, if this trail is of historical precedent, nobody can deny you access to that. That is a right according to all people. So they cannot deny you, even if it's on their property. This road is not their property because that belongs to the public.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Okay. No, normally we close it when civil defense closes all shoreline access area. We try to follow the civil defense, and then if civil defense and then we have our discretion to close it if it's a public safety issue.
So is your guys' is the access that you guys allow the public, is that actually county?
It's a county provision.
Right, you guys own the land, but it's probably a part of the stipulation of that part.
Yes, to provide shoreline access, and it's this formulatic thing. It's like for every residential unit, for every 10 residential units, one public parking space kind of deal. Yeah, because you're access through private property. I mean, the public shoreline, the first 40 feet, is public property. But to provide public access through a private property and parking, there's a formulatic thing that's required to follow. Yeah.
Those security people can make a request that say, they cannot come the service too big. That question is up for discussion. So if you would choose to, oh no, you cannot, you're preventing my, my right to access and my right to practice. That's an argument you could have presented.
We have so many things, so many possibilities. For instance, we have a percussion specialist whose name is
There's no other site in the Hawaiian archipelago like this. The royal family, the bloodlines, the genealogies, the mating, the putting together of the families, the intertwining those bloods for the royal families, it's done here. The first competitive surfing in Hawaii was done here. The grandstand where the royal family sits and the chief goes out with his canoe and his surfboards, his olu boards, was done here.
Where they've tried to develop, where a private corporation or whatnot has tried to develop this, as far as a lot of the coastline in Hawaii has been
Once
developed?
upon a time, and I have the maps for that. They surveyed this, and this is lot 5 right here we're sitting on. That's lot 4, lot 2, lot 1, and down the line. It was supposed to be big lots for people, their homes. I guess they're multi-estates. Come on! Again, is
Socially speaking, rich housing has no value at all. Hawaii has too many rich people. We don't need housing for the rich. They come in here, they buy our land. 99% of them are not Hawaiian. What is the advantage to a community to have a whole batch of rich people living there? These are the very people who don't want to be next to the poor, who don't want to be next to those who do go down to the beach, the surfers, the people they consider local and out of touch. So I mean,
you mentioned local. Your specialty is what we call moderate priced homes.
We build houses in all price ranges. We specialize in the low moderate income area. We've sort of been leaders in the area of selling to people who need the houses as opposed to speculators and people who rent them.
States involved, there's government involved.
Well, at this point in time, the state of Hawaii owns the land. And you need to understand where I come from. God owns the land. The state is a corporation. The original people of this land is still the original people of the land. They're still here. So when they come to take care and partake in taking care of this aina here, do you exercise the right of kicking them out or dictating what they can, what they cannot do? The state hasn't done nothing here, but just tell me what to do, when I can do, when I cannot do. But is that right? I don't think so. It's trying to just clean it. When we get it clean, then let's have the people, the mappers, let's have the archaeologists, let's have the gifted people that know what to do to restore all of these areas, so that we could interpret the destiny of the people, more so the identity of that culture that is still here and their traditions. I am not the boss here. I don't think the state should be the boss. All we're saying is to respect our aina, our ocean, and make sure that we can clean it up and keep it in perspective. Take care of this aina in Hawaii.
Unify the crowd with that unity through sound. What we came here to reach for higher ground. My community, get down. We came here to unify the crowd with that unity through sound. What we came here to reach for higher ground. My community, get down. Raise our voices to the heavens, seek ancestral blessings, redirecting negative connections of whoever flexing. We gon' keep on pressing forward, onward through the future, holding our composure in high speed pursuit of getting over every obstacle and tangle.